Yo, what's up guys? It's SnapBeastie, and this is my long-awaited part 2 of my Tracer guide I did a while back. So, um, you know, I covered like her objective as a character, like what she tries to do, like where her value comes from, like what her abilities are, how to use them, and like target prioritization. But now we're going to get like even more specific into her kit and into matchups than we did last time. So I guess you can say this is like an even more advanced Tracer guide, but yeah, alright, let's go. So in the last video I mentioned how Tracer is a duelist, but you might be thinking, well, why is Tracer a duelist, right? There must be like a specific purpose to that. Well, the reason why Tracer is a duelist is because she's highly mobile, right? And she's a dive character, so she has to isolate one target and then like kill them, right? Like unless they're going for like a whole pulse bomb or whatever, right? Like Tracer, your objective is to just like track someone down and kill them. But the reason why you need to do that is because you can't be focusing everyone at the same time, because if you do that, then you won't get value. It's not like you're like Junkrat and just like you can like do this and just like spam, right? But you need to select one target, so that way like it disrupts the enemy team, it forces their resources, as well as making another individual like go out of the fight. So specifically, like supports are really good to target, snipers are good to target, but specifically like Ashe you need to be very careful around, because like she can one-shot headshot you and her headshots are very fast. I'll show you an example. So let's say you're Tracer, right? And just like moving around, like the Ashe can like hit you like any one of those times, right? So I can't even. So you need to be very careful in those matchups. But like Hanzo and Widow, you should be okay as long as you have good movement. So that's a segue into my next part of the guide, so which is movement. So last time I touched on like AD spamming, like crouching, stuff like that, but the reason why it works for Tracer is because like her hitbox fluctuates. So like if you go down, it kind of like makes like a U symbol, kind of, right? Like it's like you're very bouncy. So instead of like doing like this with ADing, right, and like just like spamming it for no reason, you can be like selective about when you crouch, so that way it like confuses the enemy. It's like but eventually you like, as a Tracer player, you will know about like movement like instinctively. You won't need to think like, okay, well now I need to crouch, now I need to do this, if you're on like a flank, then you need to kind of think about your movement. And if the enemy team, for example, like is engaging through a choke, you could be like, okay, now I can like more crouch spam instead of holding it, to be faster and like to be quiet. And then you can get like a pick with pulse bomb, or just like one clip them. And yeah, so another thing is Tracer additionally is that like with your engagements that you do, it's like for a character like Genji, for example, right? Like right now the current like best tactic is, or one of the best at least, is like dash into a resupply, like maybe like deflect and then back up, so that way your team can like see you, you're in LOS of your supports, you're behind like shields and whatnot, right? So then you're safe. But as Tracer, you can't just like do this and then like back up. Like that's not how she works. Instead, like you always want to be looking for flank angles. Given you can look for flank angles on characters like Genji and Doomfist as well, but for but for Tracer, it's important. It's like especially crucial. So let's say you look for a flank angle here, right? And then like the enemies are there, so you have to be ready to like shoot. And if you're not, what's it called? Like if you like, let's say there's like an Ana here, right? And there's a McCree like here, like this is the McCree, this is the Ana. let's say they're just like firing into your team, right? You wanna go for the Ana, right? And then since you're here, the McCree is going to try to flash here, or if they're smart, flash there. So what you want to do is not necessarily to blink there, right? That would be like at face value, right? But you might want to like double blink so you can kill the Ana, and then like be ready to like use your movement. And then at that point, you can use your last blink to like go around a corner. So that way the McCree's in a bad position, and you can place your crosshair at like head level to kill him. Now, a big part of aiming, right, for any hero is crosshair placement, where you're positioning your crosshair. So you shouldn't be looking up all the time, because then you have to do this, right? You shouldn't be looking down all the time, because then you have to do this. You should always keep your crosshair around the average head level of most characters. So always like this, like walk around like this, right? And once you do that, like it'll make aiming a whole lot easier, because you don't need to account for like vertical or horizontal tracking, or vertical tracking. You just need to account for horizontal tracking. Now, if you as Tracer are trying to kill like a target in the air, let's say like a Genji is like double jumping around there, then you can like aim up. But you know, the less like the less you can aim and the more you can hit shots, the better, right? Like, well, just the more you can hit shots, the better. Because if you need to aim like a ton, you know, then you're less likely to hit all your shots and more likely to miss. So you just want to like minimize the amount like you have to aim. Like look at this as Widow, right? Like you can be like hard aiming at targets, you know, like trying to pick someone off. But if someone has good crosshair placement, they could just like do this and like click heads. But as Tracer, you kind of want to be like tracking with your crosshair placement rather than just like holding an angle like Widow is. Like Widow and Tracer, they are both hit scans, but they're two like very different characters. So yeah, I was just providing an example of Widow. But anyways, just always keep your crosshair at head level and be ready to shoot at someone once they're there. But yeah, anyways, another topic. As Tracer, like stuns are your worst enemy. Like as Tracer, you're a 150 HP glass cannon, right? So if you get stunned, there's a high chance that you're going to die, right? Like the worst examples of them being like just for abilities, not necessarily alts. Even though like alts are often worse, are like McCree Flash and Honestly. Like those are the first two ones that come to my mind. Because if you're slept as Tracer, right, you just get like one shot, and if you're Flash, then you're an easy headshot for a McCree, right? So let me provide you guys with an example. I'm just gonna go into a practice range, like preset, go for a Tracer bot, and then I'll go McCree. All right, let's see. Okay. No, but yeah, it's like I just want to show you guys like how easy like it really is to headshot a Tracer.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
So let's say, you know, they're moving around here, right?
Hold on.
You know, you just oh well, my ping spikes. You just like headshot them for free essentially, because they're like a stationary target, and good McCrees will always be able to track your head. So
That'll learn you.
keep that in mind, and always be ready to like use your blinks to like, you know, juke them out and like evade stuns. So yeah, all right. Well, that leads into my next topic, which is ability conservation. So blinks should always be the first abilities you use, generally speaking, prior to using recall. Like if you sometimes you need to use both, right? Or there's a situation where it's beneficial to use both. But hold on, I'm gonna raise my volume. But in I can't speak, but like in using both, it's like you're very easy target because you can get stunned. You have like no other mobility. You don't have like a passive or anything. As you can see here, there's no passives. But you know, if you can save your blinks and especially save your recall without like being punished for it, then like go for it, right? Because you don't. There's no purpose to just go in as Tracer and be like, you know, like constantly like triple blinking around targets, you know, spamming recall and just like doing this and then getting no value off your cooldowns, right? Because then you have like you guys can't see it, but like in or I can't point it out, but like on the bottom right of your screen, an 12-second cooldown for your recall that you need to account for. So like, and that means like you can't make another engagement because oftentimes blinks aren't enough to get you out of a situation, and you need to use blinks to again evade stuns. So you can't like, so you need to use both blinks and recall wisely. So again, part of that is with like how you move on your keyboard, like how you're like crouching, you know, like how close or far away you are from a target. You know, I'd say like you don't want to be like up by a target's face unless you're like sneaking up on a widow, to, like burst them. But yeah, like, you know, you always you always want to like be careful about like when to use your abilities and like harness your movement and positioning to your advantage, so that way you don't always have to use them. My brain kind of stopped working for a second when he said that, or prior to when I said that, but yeah, you know, you always have to be careful. So lastly, like who to use pulse bomb on. Now pulse bomb, you know, if you stick a target, you know, and you get the kill, great. It's a 65 if both teams are alive prior to you sticking someone. However, it's best when comboed with other abilities. Notably being Zarya's Graviton Surge, Orisa's Pull, you know? Those, or even like a Reinhardt's Shatter if people can't finish targets in time. Like those abilities are really beneficial to combo with, because you can like gather a lot of kills for an ultimate that charges really fast. Like watch this, right? Like I have like no ultimate buffs on. Watch how fast I get my pulse bomb.
Double kill. Triple kill. Quadruple kill.
Like obviously you're not gonna like one clip headshot all 6 people, most likely, right? But that's how fast you fire your clips, and you're gonna get pulse bomb really fast. So you want to always be comboing with other people's or your teammates' abilities to maximize your value. So lastly for this guide, to practice your aim as Tracer and to practice movement, other than just, you know, play the game forehead, right? Like what you want to do is obviously play the game, right? But you want to practice 1v1 lobbies. I find that's really good, right? Like whether it's like a 1v1 versus 1 arena, like deathmatch is extremely good to practice your movement and your aim. Like just like your dueling ability, which is really crucial for Tracer. And like once you have that down, like that's a large part of Tracer's kit. But you have to keep in mind, like there's a lot of game sense behind Tracer. It's not just pure mechanics, right? Tracer is a very mechanically demanding character, and you need a lot of intelligence to play her effectively as well. You know, it's not just like and you know, Widow involves game sense too, right? And like I'm a Widow player and I'm saying this, but you know, Widow, like she doesn't involve like an awful lot of game sense, right? It's like you need like good mechanics, fine. You need decent positioning, fine. But like you don't need to understand like every intricacy of the game to play her at like, let's say, a Diamond or Masters level, right? Even like GM. I mean, if you're trying to be like a Contenders or Overwatch League Widow, you know, then obviously you have to know. But like as Widow, it's not as important as other characters. I mean, obviously you want to know it, but you know, like if you don't, then often you can get away with that. And that's why as Tracer, you have to keep, you have to like, you know how to use your abilities. You need to know how to like rotate with your team, you know, like when to flank. And you know, a lot of that is just prioritizing targets and prioritizing a win condition. That's something I didn't talk about that much in the last video. I believe I may have touched upon it, but a win condition is essentially a condition in which a team wins. So for example, that can be Nanoblade, right? It's like, oh, the enemy Genji has Nanoblade, and or the enemy team has Nanoblade, what should we do, right? let's say your team has Immortality Field, right? And your team has, you know, Bap Brig, right? Which is a really strong support combo right now. One of the best, if not the best. So, like, you could say, oh, the Baptiste could say, oh, all Immortality, and the Brig could say, oh, I'll try to like boop and stun the Genji away, but you know, that's just one example, right? Like Grab Dragon's another one, you know, whatever. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. As long as you identify the enemy's win condition and try to like disable them from doing it or from executing their win condition successfully, then you win so many fights, right? That's why as Tracer, other than the fact that Zen has a massive hitbox, that's why you constantly want to be focusing on Zenyatta's, because it's very difficult for them to kill you because of your small hitbox. You know, again, they have a big hitbox as Zenyatta, and if you can, like, if the Zen is coming back from spawn and he has trance, you want to like prevent him from getting to that fight, right? And if he doesn't have trance, then you want to like stop him from building it. And like with other supports too, and just other characters, like if you prevent them from like building ults, then you're good. Like as Tracer too, like you can play aggressive often because you don't feed a lot, but you do need to live, obviously, right? But like it's like if you die and you distract the enemy team for 30 seconds, kill one person, and your team can still hold the point with a full 6 with the enemy team not fully making it past the choke, then that's a good play most often, especially if you like force an ultimate too. So yeah, anyways guys, this is the part 2 of the Tracer guide. Please let me know which hero you guys like you guys would like a guide for next. And yeah, you know, I always really have a lot of fun making these guides. Educating people is something that I think is very important in Overwatch, because you know, like there's people who like backseat game and ranked, right? They think they're like better than everyone else, but it's actually you know, it's cool to see like someone else's perspective on a character, and that's why I make these guides. Other than the fact that, you know, I have like good reception from them, and it helps you all out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. You know, please leave a like and subscribe if you liked it. You don't have to, but it lets me know that I'm doing a good job delivering content to you all. And yeah, alright, well, peace out guys, have a great day. I had a blast making this video, yeah, and I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe y'all, peace, love you all.